this is the formula of the Constitution. It's not mine, it's ours. It stops mass murder and tyranny of humanity. Okay, let's start with the first one. L equals P, okay, equals W, okay, equals I, okay, equals F, okay, equals SPNCH. Now, during economic struggles, what happens is the L gets flipped. Liberty gets flipped. Liberty equals productivity. You become more productive with your creativity. Okay? That equals wealth creation. So you get wealth creation out of your productivity. Okay? Once you reach wealth creation, you create independence. Once you create independence, you create the F, which is freedom. Okay? Once you create that freedom, you can fund social programs, SPs and CHs, which are charities. Okay? Now, during economic struggles, what happens is they try to flip the formula and put SP first. So we're going to put SP first, okay? When you get SP, social programs, you ultimately doesn't match with liberty. You get less liberty, less liberty. You also get less productivity, less productivity. Ultimately, when that happens, you get less wealth creation. When you get less wealth creation, you get more dependence, less independence. Less independence, more dependence. Okay, now you get less freedoms. You can't go on that trip because your independence is struggling. You can't go on that vacation. Less freedom. Freedom. With that less freedom, you have more social programs. Yes, you do. But they're less quality of a care. And the charities struggle because all of this is less. So liberty equals productivity equals wealth equals independence equals freedom equals social programs and charities. Now, we're still recording? Okay. Okay, what we got here is the social programs first, right? Well, we're not going to do that right now. We're going to show what happens when it's functioning properly. What happens is this wealth gets transferred back to productivity to reinvest. Now, the wealth that people create, they give to charities and social programs at the end. And charities and social programs benefit from the wealth and the creativity in the middle of the formula. So what happens when people become independent, they're retired, they have some money, they see a charity, they pay it forward. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, they pay it forward. Okay, when they pay it forward, these things all grow at the end. It's like the muffler. It's at the end for a reason. It's not in the beginning for a reason. You know, the end of the muffler? So these social programs, they flip the formula. They flip it. Because we're in dire straits of need. So they grow government. They flip. So social programs and liberty is less, right? This is the lesser part. This is the topper part is the profit. This is the less. The bottom is the less. So productivity, wealth. This is fascinating right here, what happens here with this. SPs and social programs are here. Okay. What happens here, they want to get to that, okay? But what happens is the underground happens, like in Cuba. The free will, your free will, goes underground now. So now instead of the arrows being on top, they go under. And there's less of it. There's less wealth. There's less of this, way less, because SPs are first. Now, under the free will, which was given to you, your government can take your liberty or keep your liberty. The problem is when they take your liberty, they take your pursuit of happiness away. That's what happens. Ultimately, it's like hot and cold together. It doesn't mix. You have one or the other. Now, in a perfect society, I think between 15 and 30% should be social programs. Because if you make it more than that, 50, 60%, everybody loses. All of this goes underground, and I can prove it to you with free will. Okay? With free will, let's list the people that gave tyranny. Okay? We're going to list the people that gave tyranny. Hitler gave tyranny. Okay? Jesus gave free will. Stalin gave tyranny, and he lost too, just like Hitler. Gandhi gave free will. One. Slavery gave tyranny to a certain race. And Martin Luther King gave them liberty by giving them free will. So free will always wins. Always, no matter what. And let me tell you what, ISIS is taking not just free will, they're taking your life, your liberty, and your pursuit of happiness. That's why they're evil. They're taking the sacred cows that is given to every human that's born. Okay? This is not something that we are politically tied to because we learn it. We're born with it. It's unalienable, means not alien. It's not alien to you. It's natural to you. So unalienable rights consist of your life, your liberty, and your pursuit of happiness. We all know that, right? But if your pursuit of happiness violates the law, now you can use force. So force is always wrong unless you break the law. And force can only be used for two things, is defense of the country and paying your taxes. So the left is using taxes to force. The right has their own thing with military, and that's why the divide is between those two big things, military and domestic spending, because those are the laws. So this formula basically tells us that we have to start with liberty. That's your creative mind. And those liberties consist of, we all know them, freedom of speech, the right to defend yourself, not to be searched when you're walking down the street. These things create a productivity in the culture. Without that productivity, if you have government give you freedom first, you can't have free will first. Free will comes before this, freedom. Bill Gates would not have freedom without his free will being first. All these people, like, let's put Trump in there. Trump wouldn't have his freedom without free will first. It has to start with free will. Now, all the people I listed that took away free will, and all the ones coming, we have to stop them.
Okay, good. Is that it?
Yeah.
Good.
You like it?
I like it.
Okay, let's go down to the bottom because I've run out of space. Let's list the forms of force. These are man-made. 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 Okay? Tyranny. communism, fascism, socialism. These are man-made, okay? This is nature-made. Free will, nature-made. Now, they are having a coup, man-made formulas of our business is having a coup on free will. They have a coup in North Korea on free will. They have a coup in Cuba on free will. That free will never go away. This regime may last 150 years, but guess what? Every baby born will be born with this political agenda, free will. So eventually, it's like The Giver, the movie, that they'll find out that they have free will, and with that free will comes basic structures that you can pursue your happiness without offending somebody else's pursuit of happiness as long as you don't break the law. So you can pursue, pursuit of happiness, okay? So that pursuit of happiness is very important because this is number 3 on the list. Number 2 is your liberty. Number 1 is life. Okay? Let's talk about something like the illegal immigrants coming across the border. Okay? The Supreme Court is seeing that case, right? The pursuit of happiness, they are trying to pursue their happiness by coming across the border. But they are violating the law and the pursuit of our happiness from within the country. So we have not violated a law in the pursuit of our happiness, but they have violated a law in the pursuit of their happiness. So they are in the wrong. If you allow that to happen, you will get more of that pursuit of happiness. We all know that. So let's just talk about, these are in order for a reason. This is not our land, life. Life is not our land. We only have our liberty, and that's our rights, and this is our pursuit of happiness. Now, we need to have social programs, we all know that, and we will have that at 15 to 30%. We can't go over to 60, 70%. We're crazy. So, Supreme Court Justice rules that a woman has the right to pursue her happiness as well as she wants. At the expense of that, they are putting the pursuit of happiness before life. That will do this. When you have a sinking ship and all are strangers on board, the men will push the women out of the way of the children, take the life jackets off the children, put it on themselves, and get into the boat because they're pursuing their happiness. That will destroy humanity. It takes life from that ship. That's why it's women and children first. Women and children, if you don't protect life, you cannot pursue your happiness. That's the point of the list. If you don't protect your liberties, you cannot pursue your happiness. So pursuit of happiness needs to be third. There's no way to go around pursuit of happiness. You cannot get to freedom without free will. And you cannot get to pursuit of happiness without life, without your liberty being at least second. What they're doing is flipping the formula to get social programs, which is democratic socialism, is collective tyranny. There's no other description. Anything that forces you to do something is wrong unless you defend your country or you pay your taxes.